So I didn't post a video about Sony's State of Play, but I wanted to do something completely left field and do a semi sort of movie review of Lisa Frankenstein. I attended the premiere this past Monday and it was very, very fun and I had a great time watching the movie. I gotta say I was very excited to see this movie. I'm a huge fan of Diablo Cody, a huge fan of Jennifer's Body, her previous movie From Years Past. I did attend the premiere. I was not paid or anything to be there. It was completely, I was just invited and got to participate in the viewing of the film and then the after party that took place in the same venue. They had originally planned to have it at the Hollywood Cemetery, but of course weather made it so that it was raining horribly on that Monday, so they moved to the venue last minute, but they pulled it off really, really well. The event itself was super fun and very themed out, and I had a great time. I filmed a bunch of footage, so you're probably maybe seeing that right now. I don't know, I'm gonna edit this. I think the biggest thing to keep in mind if you're going to go see this movie and you're a fan of Diablo Cody, I think don't go in expecting Jennifer's Body. It is completely different. It really leans into the comedy and the campiness of the genre. So I think if you're going in expecting Jennifer's Body, you might be disappointed, but it's definitely a really fun and entertaining watch. It's so funny. I think I laughed nonstop throughout the whole thing, even until the very end. There's a lot of humor. The writing is really smart in that way. I think the actors pull off all the jokes excellently. Catherine Newton in particular has some very cool, very funny, very well acted and humorous scenes. I think the thing that she talked about right at the premiere when all the cast was standing in front of the screen talking to the audience, Newton did say that she makes a lot of funny faces, and then that is very true. I loved her in Freaky, I loved her in Detective Pikachu, I loved her in Quantumania. All the movies she's done have been bangers, but this will, I think, really highlight her comedic chops. So if you're in for that, definitely go see it. Cole Sprouse does a great job of playing a reanimated corpse. There's a lot of humor in his embodiment of that character. You know, most of the movie he isn't talking, so it relied heavily on his physical comedy and his emoting, his facial features and how he can express how the corpse is feeling in any given moment. And I think just completely nailed that. I will say at the premiere, I was pretty close to the screen. I was 2 seats back from the very first row. So it was a little difficult to watch from that angle. And I was also off to the right of the screen. So I had a little crink in my neck at a certain point. But so I actually plan to rewatch the film as soon as I can to go to theaters I might even go to matinee tomorrow to watch it, to support the film monetarily, since I was invited and it was free. But I want to go to see it in a better seat so that I can really take in this film, because I know just from what I was able to experience at the premiere, I was laughing my head off. I really loved how boldly it captures and creates the 80s, early 90s feel. It really does lean into very colorful, very flamboyant colors and set designs, which I really appreciated and thought was really fun and creative. And I also loved the music. The soundtrack throughout this movie is really amazing and really captures the times. I think it does do it in a way that's a little kind of a caricature of the 80s and 90s. But I think that works for the campiness of the film. I think it just makes it more energetic on screen as opposed to something that's more subdued and subtle. I think it really did itself a service by really making it super bright and flashy and stand out. The set design in and of itself, I think, is its own character in the film. I think anyone who loves extreme gore and humorous gore will really love this movie. I know that I loved that part of it. It made the gore more, sometimes depending on my mood, I can't handle too much gore, especially something that's very serious and tense and thriller-like. I think this film just finds the humor in gore and really, there's a couple scenes in there that, you just have to see to truly appreciate. You'll laugh, and I think that's part of the charm of this film. gosh, I remember being traumatized by the film Death Becomes Her when I saw it as a very young child. And so anyways, I remember rewatching it as an adult, and I think that this film pulls a lot from Death Becomes Her, Heathers, those types of films. It's a perfect date movie, I think, especially if, if you're doing something for Valentine's Day, which, I'm definitely themed out for that right now. It's just super fun, and I think if you're gonna go watch it with a date, it'll be a great conversation starter. So that's my spoiler-free review. I, of course, had a blast at the premiere. I got to see a lot of my friends who attended, got to meet the cast. I don't think Diablo Cody was there, but I did get to meet Zelda and the cast members. I think one of the unexpected things that came from that premiere was I got to walk the red carpet, and IGN was there, unsurprisingly. They asked me for an interview, so I went up and, they just asked me kind of fun questions like, what's your favorite game right now? If, this movie's about reanimating a corpse, what are you good at creating? And I had my answer to that, which was basically horrible, but I answered that I'm great at creating an organized closet. That was what came to my mind at the moment. After giving it some thought, I probably should have said something like, I make really great muffins. Or something along those lines. But they asked me a bunch of fun questions that I thought they were just being nice and asking, because I was like one of the first ones to walk the carpet. And of course they were waiting for the main cast, and I was like, oh, they're not going to use any of this footage. But they did end up using some of the footage that they captured, in particular the question in which I talk about my favorite game of all time and how it's changed over the years and how anyways, I won't talk too much about it, but here's the video in question.
Favorite video game of all time?
Oh my god, so I'm just gonna say Minecraft, which usually isn't my go-to. I think on IGN there's like a video of me saying that Portal 2 is my favorite.
My number one pick and favorite game of all time is Portal 2.
But it's switched to Minecraft now, because like it's really been like a family affair where I've connected with my family who live abroad, so yeah, it's just been nice to do that. I'm playing Minecraft on the regular with my siblings, so it's just something I hop on and do some creative stuff, and then super deep right now into Tears of the Kingdom. I really can't stop playing it, but I'm like almost 3/4 of the way through the depths, so I've done all the maps unlocks and all the dragons and stuff, and then obviously Pal World.
Yeah, so that was really cool. It's fun to, still have a connection to IGN in that way. They posted it on their socials, and it was an unexpected thing to come from attending a premiere. And my favorite game of all time is it's a long list. There's not one single game, but in the moment I thought that was a good answer. If I were to give the movie a score out of 10, I would give it truly an 8.5. Just because of how unexpectedly funny it was and all the other things that I talked about in the review. So take it with a grain of salt. Numbers, I don't hugely believe in giving a number, like a number out of something, to any sort of creative work, but for this, I just thought it'd be fun to give it a score. I don't know what you guys thought of me doing a movie review, spoiler-free movie review. I want to do more varied content, and I'm obviously testing out some things. So let me know what you thought in the comments below. All right, I'm gonna sign off because right after this, I'm having a girls' Galentine's Day hang. We're gonna be watching, I think, Mean Girls and a Zac Efron movie. So yeah, it should be a fun time. I hope you guys have a great weekend. If I don't see you before Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day, but I'll try to drop a community post to wish you all very happy Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day, depending on what you celebrate. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Really me, just always talking about stuff.